Now then, greetings, how are you? Are you alright? Just out, I'll get out this sunlight here. Just out for a walk with dog. Well, Mrs. is with dog over that way. Dog's not with me. He's gone through there for trying to get a drink of water out Brook. Anyway, big thanks to someone called Trucker J in the UK, who apparently, I got told last night, has given me a mention on one of his videos. Yay, get in. Apparently Trucker J reckons that I sound like the late, great legend that was Mr. Fred Dibnah, R.I.P. from Bolton. Place where Peter Kay and Vernon Kay's from, in Bolton. Thanks very much for that. I do, take that as a compliment and whatnot. I think we was probably have similar accents because we're from similar parts of the, of that part of the northwest of England. I've never been up a chimney. However, I have once been down the mine shaft in the back garden of the late great Fred Dibnah, R.I.P. Now, I'm going to attach this video to this. This video was taken back in 2014. It's unscripted, it's unedited, it's just me and a mobile phone, completely off the cuff and ad-lib from start to finish. What happened was I went to the house and knocked on the door and asked the then current owner, I don't know if it's been sold or not now, the house, but I went to the door and asked the then current owner, who was trying to turn it into a heritage centre, if I could have a mooch around the garden and whatnot and have a bit, do a bit of a video. He said yes, obviously, because he wanted the publicity and whatnot. And I cracked on. It's just like I said, with an old mobile phone in 2014, so the footage is not the best quality. And the thoughts and views I had back then have changed since about the house and grounds and whatnot. But without further ado, I'll attach that video right now and then I'll give you my final thoughts on the said place and, the whole shebang in general later on. Hello! How's it going? You alright? You're joining me here in Bolton at the old legend that was the great Mr. Fred Dibnah. We're at his house in Bolton now. Since his death, for whatever reason, I don't know why, and quite frankly I don't want to know why because it's none of my business, the house was just left empty for quite a few years and it were all boarded up and it were all rusted over, in the back garden. All his tackle and his memorabilia, what he collected over the years, were all just gone to waste, really. And like I say, I don't know whatever reason that was. It's none of my business. I don't want to know why. But the current new owner opened it up and decided that he was going to turn it into a heritage centre. Now that's belting. Do you know what I mean? It's belting because people can come along, get involved, and have a mooch round Fred's garden, look through some of his old tackle and a lot of his old junk, which he'd turn his hand to anything. But unfortunately, this now is one of Bolton's best kept secrets because nobody bloody knows about it. It's not even, there's not even any signposts around here for to tell you where it is. Yet you've got the coach parties coming for to try and find it. Nobody seems to want to offer any funding. Nobody seems to want to offer any help. And it's as if like it's scandalous, really. It's an outrage because when you think about it, Fred there, who spent probably about 40 years here living in this place and dedicated his lifetime's work to not only felling chimneys and this, that and t'other, but going on telly and bringing heritage back to the UK and getting people talking about it, getting people interested in it and stuff like that. And now it seems that for all the good work Fred did, all his good work seems to be forgotten about. Nobody seems really give a damn, and it's just scandalous and shocking. I mean, not only did he fell chimneys, Fred, and dismantle things, but he could also build stuff. I mean, just look at straight of this here. It's beautiful bit of an added touch, like probably by Fred himself. Now, like I say, it's got a current new owner, and it's now a heritage centre. And we're going to go in and we're going to have a look. I've had permission. I've already been in once. I'm blackleaded because I've just been having I'm like a kid in a sweet shop. I just love it. I could spend all day around here. But I mean, it's... Well, follow me and let's have a look. Come on. is get the lock off. Left it off for us. Come on, Baba. You alright putting that lock on? No, just walking down here, it's like walking into the king's domain, do you know what I mean? I can hear machinery going because the currently owners cutting wood up to keep the burners going and that. So just listening to that there, that machine, you know, that wood cutter, you'd think that Fred were in there cutting wood, and I'm half expecting to see him, but sadly I'm not. He's gone, you know, and it's a shame. Some of the stuff here, like I said, all this were just left for a long time. All this were just left to rot for years, like, and it's a shame. Well, you got the pit head there, see? Fred decided that he was going to make a pit shaft and a pit head, and he's typical of Fred. He'd like most of his stuff he'd get for nothing, you know. He'd go around and say on building sites, just want any of that, does that not, there's nobody need that, I'll take it, and that's what he used to do. And this is his pit shaft here, see. Now the story is about this. Some of the things went missing. I was listening to a tale about that bell on the top there, and one of his wives at the time used to get sick of shouting, "Fred, your dinner's ready, your dinner's ready." And he'd say, "Oh, I'll not be a minute, I'll be in a minute." So what she made him do was add a bell on the top there, so when it was dinner time, there was no excuse. It normally works. It normally works. Hey, it's not working. It don't want work for us today, but it normally works. Anyway, this pit shaft here, if I can get it out, was dug down, and all the muck used to come up in this little bucket thing here, and the lads would drag it up, and when they got so far down, they started strengthening it with bricks. Now, Fred himself did every single one of these bricks. He wouldn't let anybody touch the trowel. He did them all himself. Well, that's not that deep. I'd say about 15 feet or something like that, you know. Well, it's a good bit of thing here. Now, there's a tale about that. We'll come back to that in a minute, but there's a tale about that. Now, the tale is that the senior management at the time, which was the third Mrs. Dibner, when Fred worked so well, she had him on a strict diet and he wasn't allowed to eat anything bad for him and this, that and t'other. Well, he used to like a pie, did Fred, so I'm told. And the lads would go out for a pie at dinner time, and Fred sat there on the top eating his pie and this, that and t'other. And somebody shouted, "Fred, Fred, your missus is on her way down." So panicking, he took the pie out his mouth and threw it down the pit shaft. But unfortunately for Fred, it still had his set of false teeth attached to it, so they went down the shaft too. Now, whether he got them back or not, I don't know, but I imagine, well, I didn't know him, to be honest, but I imagine Fred would have gone down the pit shaft after and put them back in, but yeah, it's just like he's still here, isn't it, you know what I mean, but sadly he's not. Now, if you look over there, I don't know if you can see it, but if you look over there, that's the cemetery, and that is where Fred is buried, in that cemetery over there. Now, into the very fitting tribute, looking up at us, thinking that Fred's down there now, looking at us, and other members of the public, what's going to be coming here to this heritage centre, and that's brilliant. You know, Fred's watching over us. You know, he's watching us all, rummaging around in his tat and this, that, and other. Another one of Fred's sheds, see? One of Fred's sheds, and all bits and bats of tackle and material in here, what he's collected over years, and what this thing is, but like nuts and bolts there. I bet there's some history where they've come from. Well, the main shed here with all these, there's all sorts of tackle in here. Now this here was the old ladders, what he was on the telly with. He was famously on the telly with them, climbing up and down chimneys. There's a bit of footage of Fred on YouTube, and he's swinging about on Enham Mill in Atherton on the chimney there, and he's gone up on these ladders, and he's just got a plank of wood tied to his arse and a bit of rope, and he's rounding about and that, and about 200 odd foot up, you know, a current whirl. It's like beautiful footage, and you know, you couldn't get away with out like that with health and safety these days, could you? Look here now, see, these are some of his clothes. His old jumper there, see. His old jumper what he'd had on, still black leaded. His old jeans what he had on. If you look over here, I believe these were a pair of Fred's boots, complete with socks still in them, see. Pair of Fred's old work boots. Oops, hang on. Sorry Fred, I've knocked your sock out. Fred's old boots, see they. There's all sorts of bits and bobs in here. All sorts of ropes and old ladders again there. And yeah, it's old jumpers, black leaded. And this one here, he's ripped all back out of it. Ripped all back out that jumper. There's his old tin hat, what he had to wear under protest at times. Well, he's getting two of them. Old radio, bits and bats, so you see, more of his tackle. And I just find this fascinating. You know, it's brilliant to me. I could spend here all day, and it's as if he's never left, you know. But it's just brilliant. Big wooden burner here, so there. But there's many a times they've stood round this thing and had a chat and a bit of gingangooly and this, that, t'other, you know. Right here, it's a thing for baking potatoes. We'll bake potatoes in there, see. I believe this is where the old talks now, part of the heritage centre and whatnot. Like I say, I just find this absolutely fascinating. There's the man himself. Now the difference between me and this man, Mr. Dibner, is I love anything like this. I love to look at it, but I've no idea what most of this stuff does. I couldn't even wire a plug properly, you know what I mean? Where Fred, you could watch him all day because he was fascinating, and he'd not only tell you about a machine and how it worked and about a certain chimney or a certain brickwork or a certain bit of riveting in it on an iron bridge. He'd also go into detail because he was a well read up man, and he'd tell you everything about the guy what made the rivets and what he'd done last night or what he'd had for his breakfast and this, that, t'other. You know, he was just a legend, you know, he was just beautiful. But anyway, you need to come and see for yourselves, because this is part of our heritage, and what this man did for us, we're just belted. Now let's go back to this pit here now, because I've had permission, I'm going to have a mooch in. I'll have to get my beautiful assistant to hold the camera for me though. We'll have a mooch in to Fred's pit. All I will say, before I do this, all I will say is don't try this at home, kids. I know what I'm doing. I've been it for me and everything. If it were good enough for Fred, it's good enough for me. It's not responsible. I'm fully trained. I've already been down here, that's why I'm dirty, and I know it's safe. There's no gases or anything. I'm fully responsible for myself, and I know what I'm doing. So follow me. Well, you're not going to come in, are you? But don't try this at home, kids. But we're going to go down into Fred's pit shaft. Well, hey, I'm black-leaded already. Now, I can just imagine old Fred climbing down here himself, you know. It's like, you know, I was digging it, like, and I just thought, oh, well, a bit of a pit shaft I might go down to the bottom. And that's what I'm going to do. Well, it's quite damp down here, but there's quite a lot of room. And when you think about it, all these bricks he'd done himself, he wouldn't let anybody walk through. He'd have all fellas like, he'd have them shoveling shite out, you know what I mean, but he wouldn't let them touch the trail. So he was a very proud man with Fred. And looking at his stuff here, I'm thinking, he's bob on, you know, he's done well. Hang on, bit of a squeeze here. Stick with me, we'll have to get through, and we're through. And we're at the bottom. Now, I don't know if you can hear me up there, but what they were going to do, when they got to this bit, they were going to dig down and out towards the river, and have like a working mine type of thing as part of the Heritage Centre. But sadly, that never happened, so we're just left with this bit here now. Now there's still tools down here where they were digging. There's an old axe-like hammer type of thing. It's all the wood's all rotted because it's just been left. There's an old sledgehammer what's been chopped in half, and can you see that there? There's a shovel here, see, and the head of a pickaxe as well, and there's the head of a pickaxe, and oh, there's something else here. Hold on, I don't know what this is, but there's something else here. There's something else here. Wait, stay with me. Maybe them were them false teeth we were on about before, eh? And there's something else here as well. Hang on, stay there. Find something else here. It's a bit dusty. Been down here a while. But I think this might have been Fred's pie. And, you know, it's still quite handleable, you know. It's not hard to do that. It's not bad. Hang on, stop where you are. I'm coming back up. Oh yeah, we've been at the bottom of Fred's well shaft. Not a lot of people are going to be able to do that. And I have to say, I'm covered in muck, but I've rather enjoyed it. It's been alright. Now just stop there a minute. I must just also point out that Fred liked a pie. He did indeed. And while he's not eating it, you know, I think I'll have a bite. Meat and prater. You can't beat it. No. I must also point out that no horses were injured or harmed in any way, shape or form during the making of this video. If any pie companies want to sponsor these people, put some money in the pot, and that's fine, because they need all the help they can get. And get yourselves down here to this Heritage Centre. You'll enjoy yourself. It's an absolutely fantastic day, and it'll be belting. Last word on you, Fred. Join us again. Bye bye. Did you like that? And next. Yeah, so that was me having a mooch around the late great Fred Dibnah, RIP's house grounds and unfinished mine shaft in his backyard. Like I say, it was done back in 2014 on a previous YouTube channel I had. Decided to put the footage back on because I think it's a good video all in all, and as far as I'm aware, I am the only lad from Wigan to have ever gone down the mine shaft, the unfinished mine shaft in his back garden, and eaten a pie. Like I said at the start of this, the thoughts and feelings I had back then about the place have changed, because I do get, you know, I can't help but think that there's a lot of negativity around that place. I don't know what's happened with the Heritage Centre now. I think it's been closed down. As far as I'm aware, the then current owner Leon was trying to sell it and trying to, you know, shift it on. A lot of people say that he tried to profit out of the place and make a fortune on it. I don't think that you know, demand is that high for Fred Dibner anymore. I think he was a dying breed, and you know, once the older generation have died out, not that many people was coming to visit the Heritage Centre. He did have tours on and that, but I don't think it went quite as he expected. Can you blame the guy for trying to cash in on it? No, not at all. He bought the house. It was his house to do what he bloody wanted. But I did get the feeling that there was a lot of negativity about the place and a lot of bad vibe about the place. I don't know the ins and outs with what happened with Fred's widow. As far as I know, she got cut out the will. There's a lot of bitterness and bad blood on her part with the current owner. She wasn't happy that he was turning it into a heritage centre and trying to make money out of it. As far as I was aware, it was his house. He could do what the bloody hell he wanted. But I got a bit of You know, I got a bit of crap for that video actually at the time. The lady in question, who will remain nameless, didn't want it uploading, wanted me to take it off, how dare I type of thing. So I politely told her to bugger off and she fell out of me. So I kept it up and running. I don't know the history of the family and whatnot. I've never met Fred Dibnah, never met any of his sons or daughters. But no, I've decided to put that video back on because I think it was a good video, to be fair. But I hope you enjoyed it, you know what I mean? Right, I'm out of here now. I've got to catch our peg up, and she's going that away with the dog. So I'll probably speak to you on Monday, when we're out and about and in with a shout-it truck. I've been your old mate Boris here. Once again, you, my friend, have been beautiful. But for now, I'm out of here. Ta-ra!